Hey Mom, can I have a quarter? Hey, Fragorn here. Another build guide for Path of Exile 3.26 League and expansion. This is a cool one. This is something totally new based on a new piece of gear that wasn't available until now. And what that is the Whispers of Infinity Sea Glass Amulet. So this is a very cheap piece of gear. Let's take a look quick and see what these are going for. It's not working. Oh, I don't have my PO overlay running. Well, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. One chaos for non-corrupted. They'll go up a little more if you get better rolls. It can roll 10 to 25 is 10 to 25 is the best roll for what we're doing with this build. So back to the build. Why I'm using this. So I like mana stackers, and this is some of the best damage you can get from a mana stacker, period. It's just huge damage. I have this catalyst up to get a little more buff to it. I didn't buy a perfect one. I just bought one that had one of the lowest reduced maximum mana scores and then pretty good attack scores for chaos. So I think I spent 1C or 2C on this. The whole gear is very cheap. I just hit level 74 or 5 so I could equip this. Using Crown of Inward Eye, it's very nice for mana stackers. Gives you a little more damage from your life, your mana, and your increased energy shield, and it just gives you a lot of extra mana. Junky amethyst rings, just with a little resistance. This one doesn't even have a life roll. This one just a little resistance, and I must have needed the strength. Another belt. All these have mana on them. That's all I was looking for. Everything's got like 50 mana. Nothing huge. One chaos belt, maybe two. One or two chaos gloves. This didn't even have mana. I had to craft it on there. I was really just looking for the attack speed. Boots. I eventually want to get the jewel that lets you become ailment avoidance by your chance to avoid being shocked. So trying to cap that. I have ailment avoidance on a shield too, so I just need a little more somewhere else and I should be able to get that going. I don't even have the jewel yet, but for now I'm not ailment avoidant at all. Just wanted mana on here, needed the resists. This is terrible, super cheap. Wand, just looking for increased spell damage and increased attack speed and mana. The projectile speed, the chance to freeze don't do anything, so this is like a 10 chaos wand, super cheap and crummy. Just bought a 10 chaos chest that had 4 blues and 2 greens because that's what I wanted for colors. Had a little life and a little resistances. So my gear is junk. I don't even have my flasks up. These are still campaign flasks. Still just corrupted blood flasks from the campaign. Gear is just absolutely awful. Tooltip DPS is sitting at 100k right now. Mostly chaos damage, but quite a bit of physical. Plans for the build is to get this really nice jewel in there. The main thing is overwhelming malice. I have high crit rate, so chance to get unholy might is fantastic. It'll convert all the flat physical damage of my main skill, which is kinetic blast of clustering. This gives me 14% of maximum mana added as flat physical damage, so I don't need any damage on my wand to do damage. It also gives me the beautiful increases and reductions to spell damage applied, attack damage from the skill at 200% of their value. So it's basically doubling all the spell damage I have in this build, which isn't a ton. It's just most of it comes from the wand, but it stays. Yeah. So how this all works together is with gem links. I'll show you what I'm doing. I got kinetic blast of clustering. So this is a cool skill. It goes out and doesn't do anything. I have it linked to returning projectiles. It doesn't do anything unless it hits a target. So if I can get it to collide with some wall here, then it'll explode. Where's a place where I can get the return to explode too? So you get an explosion there and here, and there. So this is super good skill for tight corners, not quite as good for outdoor maps. But it fires a projectile. When it explodes, it hits a target, it creates 4 additional explosions. I have it linked with Sacred Wisps, so when I'm fighting, I get 2 of these little guys up that are shooting this along with me. Very nice. Just in crit damage, crit strikes, because I'm not crit capped yet. I need some more power charges to get there. Returning projectiles, and I have it linked with Pierce support. I'm not sure this is the best combo yet. I need to do some testing. I'm gonna I'll build with a 100% chance to poison and go see how many hits I'm getting on certain single targets and stuff. Right now, it's not the best single target skill. It's not terrible, but it's not an uber bosser, but it's an unbelievable clearer. Other stuff I have linked with this, you can see I have 2 sockets not even used right now. Frostpunk Luminary Blast with fast casting. I'm self-casting Assassin's Mark. I should probably put that in there with marked on hit so I don't have to mess with it. 4 golems in my helmet. Flame for AoE and just increased damage. Stone for life regen and extra defenses. Lightning for attack speed and mana regen. And ice for crit chance and accuracy. Very nice. Gives me plenty of accuracy. I have very good hit chance. Now, I took Spellslinger off. Now I put it back on. How this works is, thanks to Palstron, I saw this on his clustering from a couple of leagues ago. When you shoot, now it's going to hit the tornado. So this is linked to tornado. It's going to put a tornado out, and it's going to for sure guarantee a hit right in front of me. You can see how this will start to get crowded in tight areas with lots of hits. Very nice skill. I do have totems. I have 3 ballista totems available. Right now they're just doing faster attacks, withering touch, and kinetic blast to clustering as well. So that's how I'm getting my wither stacks right now. I will be getting them from a jewel later. I'm going to take this awesome 8 passive cluster. Once I hit Overwhelming Malice, I'll have Unholy Might will be up constantly. It'll convert all my leftover flat physical from the clustering jewel gem to chaos. So it'll be doing only chaos damage with I guess a little bit of cold and lightnings in there too, but that's irrelevant. It'll give me the 25% chance to wither on hit, so I'll be withering like crazy. Probably will leave this in there, so that'll have 50% chance to wither on hit, and then it should keep me at 15 wither stacks for boss fights constantly. Arcane Cloak linked with automation. It's very nice. Any mana stacker usually uses this as their guard skill. It gives me a little extra lightning damage, which I don't care about. Tornado, like I said, linked with Spellslinger. That kind of procs the clustering, kinetic blast clusterings to start working. Just got a precision up here, and that's it for links. I will figure out what I'm going to do with the last 2 as I go along. Like I said, I just hit 74, so I'm just getting to truly test this right now. Tip DPS, I said, is 100k right there. I take this off, it drops to 50. So this is doubling my damage. With this item, you got some things you need to solve. So the attack per mana is really good. Maximum energy shield is really good. Reduced mana stinks. Get it as little as possible. And the problem you have to solve is skills cost energy shield instead of mana or life. So now my skills are going to cost energy shield. Well, how do I get that to not make me run out of energy shield? As you can see, I'm not running out of energy shield. Recharge will work just fine if you're not taking any damage in your hideout. But as soon as you start taking damage, it shuts off recharge. Even And the way to fix that is to use Zealot's Oath. So my regen is big from my stone golem, and being a elemancer with all the buffed golem effects, it all goes right into energy shield. So I'm constantly regenerating, like, what do I got here? 390. I'm regenerating almost 400 energy shield per second. I don't have any quality on my stone golem yet. This will go way up once I do. So even better. Another thing you do to solve this is you need a glorious vanity with divine flesh. So this jewel right here has to be in the name of Zibakwa. That will let any keystone in the area you have it put in turn that keystone into divine flesh. Divine flesh lets all damage taken bypass energy shield, so I'm not going to run out of energy shield. I use it to cast now. It's my spender. 50% of elemental damage taken is chaos damage, 5 to maximum chaos resistance. So, as you can see, I'm only sitting at 74 chaos, but once I get a little more, it'll go up to 80. My elemental damage will be taken at that 80% chaos resistance. It's just fantastic defense. This affects mobs that have penetration. So if somebody, an enemy you're fighting has lightning penetration, well, half of my lightning damage is taken as chaos, which defeats half of their penetration. Very, very good stuff. Yeah, it's just a really cool timeless jewel keystone. Makes you very strong. So works really good with this amulet. Fantastic. One of the things it does to your zones is it crangles all of your nodes. So this would be strength, but now it's projectile damage. I have no control over that. I didn't pick that. I just bought the cheapest timeless jewel I could get for this. This turns into curse effect. This turns into spell damage. So these are very good. That's 22% damage bonus right there. I don't mind effective curses. More chaos damage. A little extra maximum life. And then that one's useless. 7 cold damage. This one, a little bit of block. Don't care about that. Damage over time, don't care about that. A little bit of spell damage. This would have been better as its regular node. There's a few in here that are okay if I want to go get them, but most of them are stupid, so I'm not going to bother taking any of these. And they could all be different depending upon the... See the number 2397 sacrificed? Every one of these is going to have different values, so if you get a different number than this one, your nodes leading up to this will be different than what I have. But how it works is you have to put it in an area where it doesn't really matter. None of these travel, strength, and dex nodes are super important. This int travel node, I think, is not super important. So I don't have anything here that I'm like, can't live without if it changes to something else. So that's why I put it there. It's the best place for this build, anyway, for me to get divine flesh and get this out of the way of screwing up some other stuff. I got lucky that it actually helped with a couple. You can find those timeless jewels on the jewel calculator right here. It's a timeless jewel calculator. You get that, put what you want, put in your Zibakwa, put where you're going to take it. You can pick any node, it'll tell you where it's going to be, minus the pain attunement node. But very easy. And then it'll tell you what's going to happen in path of building for all these different nodes with the number that you pick. So it's a good way to test it. So stacking mana, taking as many of these extra mana nodes as I can get, taking a bunch of intelligence. Like I said, my gear is terrible, so I can easily double my mana with just a little bit of spending. Got to play this build a little longer and see if I really like it before I sink some currency into it. I did come over here for my golems just to give them a little more health, and because they're very important, especially for regen. Give myself a little more regen, and then since I do have some damage from them, I take spiritual aid to buff it. Mind over mana is a huge defense. I am leeching life and mana, so that's where my defenses are. I don't have spell suppression, I don't have block, really just using defense as a EHP. Other things for defense is I have very good defense from my Ascendancy. So you get the primordial, get your extra 2 golems, they're immune to elemental damage, they resummon in 4 seconds. Take this golem node too, and that gives you big buff effect to your golems, making them more effective, and 4 of them. So like I said, I have flame, stone, lightning, and ice. Shaper Storm's very nice. I get big shocks all the time, at least 25%. But with a little bit of shock effect, which you get from this, it actually, right now it's at like 29. I plan to take these nodes to get more shock effect, a little extra damage. So 30% increased effect of lightning elements, 20% increased effect. Very nice. I also have Shaper of Winter, so all my damage, even though it's chaos and physical, can chill. The chills reduce action speed by a maximum of 40. I'm not hitting that right now. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 or something is the best I've seen. They deal less damage based by half of the chill effect. So if I get a 30% chill, it's like having a 15 fortify stack on me because they're doing 15% less damage. I got lucky and found this Crown of the Inward Eye with decent rolls and a really cool corruption, 29% increased effect of cold ailments. So that gives me more chill effect, slows them down more defense, more damage reduction. Now I have to hit these guys to make this happen. I have to I have to hit them to make the shock occur. I have to hit them to make the chill occur. But it's very good. I will also probably take these two to get another 40% increased effective chill. Very effective nodes for this build. And my last one is going to be elemental damage, fire, Shaper Flames. So the Ignite's not going to help. It's meaningless. But what it's going to do is it's going to... Enemies that I ignite have 40% of physical damage they deal converted to fire. So it's gonna just reduce that damage unbelievably. So a huge chunk of physical is just taken away right away. So between this reducing 15% at least, if I can get it up to 20, that'd be awesome. But 15 is really good. Convert 40% of their physical to fire, which then gets converted to chaos. It just goes through a series of mitigation steps before it actually causes damage to me. A huge reduction in damage. So once I have this and I have everything ignited and chilled, my damage is going to be just... the damage I take is going to be unbelievably low. And I have huge leech. I'm not sure if I'm going to come down here and take Unwavering Stance. Stunning hasn't bothered me too much yet. I have the Pantheon right now to have stun only occur once every 2 seconds, and then you're not getting stunned anymore. I have a pretty good life pool, so it's not terrible. But if stun starts to get to be a problem, I'm going to have to figure that out and get down here probably to take this node, which is good. I mean, I can path through here and get more mana. Get another jewel socket, which is good. So it's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I can get 7, 8, 9, 10 really good nodes. I'm only level 75, so I have lots of points to spend still. So it'll be interesting when I decide to pick and choose as I go through it. Yeah, so that's the build. That's the tree. That's the super cheap gear that I'm wearing right now. Easily less than maybe 75k I spent on this. Yeah, I can go way higher. I just want to make sure I like it first, but wanted to get this guide out for people that want to play that new amulet. Stack mana. This is not the only way to play this. I would think this would be possibly really good for poison. I thought about doing a... It kind of stinks to spend all your mana. But you could theoretically stack mana over as a champion. Get started down here. There's lots of mana nodes. There's big mana here. There's big mana here. Big mana here. There's big mana here. Mana, mana, I mean, you can really get a lot of mana out of the duelist area too, or the ranger area. So there's lots of different options. I just like the witch right now, with the golems being so strong, with the the reductions in damage that I get from my ascendancies. It's just so tanky, and then the leech will just keep me up. So I'll show you what this is doing. First, I'll show you a little bit of a map. I got an outdoor map, so you're going to see how it's not as good on an outdoor map. And then I'll do a little delve. This character so far seems to be just excelling at delve. I'm doing just low ones just to level up right now. But
I think I found a new
okay,
realm to
everything's
master.
up. All my golems. It's not many buttons. Just a totem, a move, and a curse if you need it. So let's see how this goes. You can see the screen is just going away. I don't even know what the mobs are on this map. I didn't even look. But they don't do anything. Do a little quick harvest. This should be really good at harvest. I haven't tried it yet. Two crappy ones. So what I'll do is just drop my 3 totems. Bam. Yeah, it's good at harvest. I have a feeling it's going to be good at everything except for Ruby Bossing. It's already seems like one of the best map blasters I've ever played. Just one. There you go. My gens aren't even leveled. This is gonna go, my DPS is gonna go through the roof. Once I get some decent gear. It's nice to have a build you can scale. My other build, my Soul Rest Necromancer, I have a little more room to scale, but that just has a ceiling. But it was a great league starter. I got 13 divines farming that before I switched to this character, and what are we on, day 4 of the league or something, day 5. So not bad, not a bad start. I have money to spend. I was just not gonna spend it on that character. That's enough of this map. So it's nice at harvest. It's nice at clearing outdoor maps. Now I'm going to show you what it excels at the most. So like I said, I was just doing low delves at my level, just gathering an azurite right now to fund my delving. So this is just a level 73 delve. I am level 75, so it's right in my range. But the tight corners are going to be just fantastic. So I would guess if I get to like 150, which is usually my comfort zone for delve, somewhere between 150 and 200. I don't want hard delves, but once you're in that zone and you just cruise around, you make so much currency. You find so many good things in there. So delve can be incredibly profitable, especially if you have a character that can just blast through it like this. So let's see what we get here in the delve. As you can see, these tight packs, these tight walls from the delve just make my explosions fill up, because my returning projectiles, it's causing explosions. So there's damage in front of me, beside me, all around me. It's just crazy. Rares are just melting. And I don't even have wither, so I'm not even withering these guys yet. Once I get my cluster drill up with wither, it'll basically just about double my damage. So this is going to be a good build. You could play this with any, this amulet can be used with any attack skill that you stack your mana on. So you could play the popular one right now, Volcanic Fissure Snaking, do all stack mana, do all chaos damage pretty much. You could use that super cheap level 20 rare mace, which is crazy fast and costs nothing. I can't remember what it's called, but it has like 2.11 attack second base, and then just scale some attack speed and some mana, do all chaos damage with your fish or snaking, and it would be very good. There's lots of things you can do with this, but this amulet is really cool. I love these. Anything you stack is my favorite. I love Bruce's Lead Sprinkler. I love Replica Alvarons for stacking chaos and strength, all that stuff. So stacking has always been my favorite way to get DPS and defense. So my life pool is 31. The energy shield is irrelevant because all my damage bypasses energy shield. I actually have too much. My mana pool is 2804 with no reservations, so that's all added in my life pool because mine don't matter. It's pretty mindless. You hit everything, you don't have to aim because you're going to hit your tornado and start the reaction of stuff blasting all over the place. Yeah, this is awfully good so far with no gear at level 75, so I highly recommend this build, or given some form of mana stacking with attacks and Whispers of Infinity as your amulet a try. You'll like it. I'm gonna definitely try this as a melee build at some point too. Probably as a champion, maybe as a slayer. I don't know. There's just so many good options. Can't even, I just like Witch right now. Elementalist is really defensive. When I get my last Ascendancy, I'm going to be so tanky. Alright, that's it for the build. If you've liked this content, please hit the like and subscribe down below, and I hope you find some fun things to do with your builds in Path of Exile 3.26. Thanks for watching.